why in the heck should you live in Portland? Well, in today's video, you're going to just have a casual conversation with me while I'm sitting on my couch thinking about why I live in Portland. And if you're thinking about making that move to Portland, you're probably thinking the same thing. So let's get after it. If you are not currently a subscriber to our channel and part of our incredible community, we ask you to hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell, do a little dance like Eric always says, and be a part of our community. We love to hear from you guys, getting the reach outs, the texts, the phone calls, and also the comments. You guys are very honest with us and we appreciate it. And we look forward to hopping on a call with you if you're making that move to Portland. I am sitting here thinking about the reasons to move to Portland, and you might be too. You might be sitting on YouTube going, all right, Ann, tell us, why should we move or live in Portland? Well, let me just casually tell you why I think people move and live here, as well as myself. We're sitting on the couch today with my rescue dog, Billy. Hey, Billy, say hi. Hey. By the way, dogs are awesome, and if you move to Portland and you have a dog or you want to get a dog, you will be very welcome here. We love our dogs. They are people to us. The culture here is animals, okay? We just value animals, life, especially dogs. They're just amazing. Rad, as I would have said in the 90s, but it's still under the 90s, so we won't be dating myself. But anyway, moving on to what actually matters, because that's what you're on here for. Well, maybe a little entertainment value today. Why do we live here? Well, first of all, I'm going to make a guess that our city is prettier than your city. I don't know where you're living now, but I'm going to guess that if you've been here and seen how gorgeous it is outside, you're probably going to go, yeah, Portland is prettier. We're really green. We're really robust in the green department, and we have a lot of plant life, and it is shockingly gorgeous here most of the year. Maybe the exception could be when it's winter and all the leaves have fallen and it's just kind of cold, but even then it's still pretty. I mean, we have hills, we have valleys, we have mountains that just come out of nowhere on a sunny day and just hit you straight on while you're driving across the freeway. It is stunning here. I mean, we have all seasons. You probably are aware of that if you've been doing some research on Portland. We have all the seasons, and every one of them I look forward to. I think that's the one thing I would say is, like, right now it's winter time. It's in December of 2024. It's fairly cold outside, but I'm sitting here with the fireplace on, wearing my vest. We talk a lot about the attire you're going to have to wear when you live in Portland. Lots and lots of layers. Vests are a good thing, but I freaking look forward to every single season. I love it when it turns fall. You cannot beat our falls, maybe parts of the East Coast like Boston and whatnot, but it is like shockingly beautiful when you're driving around. And it only lasts from maybe part of September through part of November, but it's just drop dead gorgeous. And I mean, you just have to see it to believe it. And then you get into winter and it's freezing, but it's cozy. And I look forward to those days when I can flip on the fireplace or put on my boots or, go walk outside while it's really brisk outside. And honestly, I don't mind the rain. That's the thing about when you live in Portland is you got to get used to and embrace the rain. If you can't embrace the rain and you're not a rain person, you're going to struggle. But if it doesn't bother you, and actually a lot of people who move here, they love the rain. We have literally moved people here that said, give me the gray skies. I love it. I love cool and brisk. And the interesting thing about the season and analogy here is even though it does get cold and rainy, you can still go outside and do stuff. You can still go outside and take a walk. You can go golfing. You can go, Erica has horses and she takes her horses out all the time, rain or shine. You can be active and you just have to dress appropriately. You have to know that if it's going to be freezing cold rain, you dress appropriately and you're still able to go out year round. Whereas a lot of places in the country where it's, 100 plus degrees outside, you literally have to do everything before 8 a.m. in the morning. So I've heard, or, you can't leave the house the rest of the day. It's just too dang hot. Or the winters are so brutal that it's so much snow that you just, it kind of incapacitates you for a bit. That's just not the truth here. We maybe get a week of snow at best. Sometimes we'll get more than, depending on the year, we'll get more. But honestly, it's just easy to, you're not stuck. You're not going to get stuck inside if you don't want to be. So seasonality wise, it's great. Springtime's heavy rains. but the flowers start coming out and blooming and the leaves start coming out. And by summertime, you think you've, reached the Garden of Eden. It's like 75 degrees. We've had a few hot summers recently, climate change or whatever they call it. We're definitely experiencing hotter summer times, but still not unbearable. And for the most part, you're like 75, 85 degrees, which 75 degrees is perfect in my mind. And you're able to go outside and do stuff and enjoy. I mean, literally live outside in the summertime. Most Oregonians sit out on their back decks, patios, whatever. And you just, we highly encourage outdoor living areas because of it. So I would say, depending on where you're coming from, I would say it's a pretty safe guess to say that our city's prettier than yours, or at least where you're coming from. But if I'm wrong, comment below, let me know. But I'm going to just go ahead and say that Portland's one of the prettiest towns that exists. The other thing that I think a lot of us really appreciate about Portland is we're very cultural and diverse. A lot of people appreciate the fact that we have all kinds of ethnicities and diversity in who you are. And I think there's just a general feeling of freedom in that respect. Like you can be who you want to be and you can live here and everybody fits and everybody works. And it's just, if you want to eat a certain type of dining, we've got almost every possible type of dining out there. So if you like different varieties of food, we've got it. If you want to have different types of living experiences, it's not just one big planned community city. I go to a lot of cities like Arizona, Texas, or whatever to visit friends and family. And it's just like a sea of suburban only type of housing. Whereas in Portland, it's super eclectic. I mean, every era of house is here. It's not uncommon to see the bungalows and the four square houses and the Tudors and the cute, charming stuff that draws everybody in. But we also have suburbs, but the suburbs are even eclectic. So you can have like Southwest Portland where you've got a 1970s house next to a 1940s house. And we just have such a variety of types of housing. A lot of people who move here always tell us, we want trees. We want to look at trees. We want to look at Mount Hood or whatever, because they want to experience more of that outdoor indoor feel. And we've got a lot of options for that. Do we have suburbs that have zero lot line yards? Oh yeah, you can definitely get a brand new construction house with hardly any yard. But in general, there's a lot of variety in other types of housing. So if you're like, hey, I don't want new construction, I don't want to be confined, then you can find it here. But every neighborhood has a different cultural vibe to it. And we talk a lot about cult classic neighborhoods like Selwood. If you haven't been to Selwood, Moreland, it has its own little culture vibe, feel, bohemian, mixed with yesteryear era. You got Laurelhurst, Alameda, Irvington. The list goes on the east side. And all of those are older neighborhoods with older style homes, but they each have their own feel to it. Likewise, you can go downtown and look at condos, or you can go over to Southwest Portland, Northwest Portland, and get houses with views, older homes, newer homes. It's just like, what is your vibe? What's your taste? A lot of people do homework on Portland. That's probably why you're on our channel, because you're trying to understand what is Portland like. And by the way, if you're watching this video right now and you want to get a killer map of Portland, reach out to us. We send these maps out that really help people understand kind of where like Portland, how it fits into all that, which is really helpful. And of course, we always say like your price range is going to oftentimes determine where you're going to be looking. But if you're like, I want an older, cute bungalow, then we look in certain areas and we tell you about the different types of neighborhoods and what they feel like. Likewise, if you're like, I don't want to do any work, I want new construction, don't care about the yard size, then, there's that too. So a lot of variety in that. But going back to just living your life, like how do you want to live your life? We are a very democratic, very liberal city. So nobody is going to tell you how to live here. And there's not just one kind of vibe. There's many different types. So I think a lot of people appreciate that. It just kind of feels free to live here. It's really tough to beat the lifestyle in Portland. And let me kind of explain that. So I have family that is in the South and they love coming to Portland because they feel like the lifestyle here is just so very different. Meaning they can go to wine country for the day and enjoy world-class wines, which is like 20, 30 minutes outside of Portland. Then we can go hike up Multnomah Falls. We can go downtown Portland for a great meal at a great restaurant or food carts or whatnot. They love it when we take them to all these different places to eat because in their world, they're only seeing, fast food franchises. Whereas in Portland, we don't do a lot of franchises. Like, do we have them? We do, but they're, here and there. but for the most part, the mom and pop stores, the locally owned, the well-known chef is got a restaurant that you'd much prefer to have food at their restaurants than to just go to a fast food joint. And so also with the groceries, it's funny because my Florida family, when they come here, they love us to take them to New Seasons because they don't have a New Seasons. They do have Trader Joe's, but they're kind of further out, but they love the local markets that we have, and they love the farmers markets. And they also love skiing. And it's funny because they have to fly to get to skiing. And we take them up to the mountain when they come out here, if it's during the winter time. Also going to the coast, sometimes we take them out to the coast and the beach, and that's got its whole other thing. So it's hard to beat the lifestyle around here. The hiking, the biking, if you want to be active outside, it's got the best of all worlds at your fingertips. So if you're really into that, you're, really close to almost doing everything you can possibly think of in and around the Portland metro area. And also, like I said, the lifestyle, it's 46 degrees out today, which is freezing. It's cold. And my husband's out golfing, and he just, wears appropriate attire to do that. So it's not like things completely stop during the winter time. If you have a desire to do something, you have the ability to do it. But yeah, it's the lifestyle here just allows you to not just live in one season or one area. You can pretty much do as much as you want to do when you're in Portland. And there's just a lot of things to experience, whether you're a family, whether you're a young professional, whether you're a couple. There's just a lot to do. Okay, now I'm going to talk about a controversial one. Portland is still cheap. What? Yes, we are still considered cheap. We are the cheapest West Coast city. So if you're coming from California, you look at us like we're cheap. If you're coming up to Seattle and looking at home prices or cost of living up there, which we've done a video on, you're going to go, yeah, Portland is cheap. So if you're trying to stay on the West Coast, Portland is the cheapest. Always has, probably always will be. Are we expensive in general? Yes. So that's where the controversy is. When I talk to people about affordable housing, they're kind of shocked where that affordable housing cost is. And I don't blame them, because once upon a time, we were a lot cheaper and housing prices were a lot less. But if you go into any major city in the continental US, all the major cities have gone up in value substantially. There's no hidden gems out there anymore. The average sales price in Portland is pushing $550 to $575, depending on where you're looking. And honestly, that doesn't get you much. So a lot of times people think that our starting price in most areas starts in the $600s, and I wouldn't disagree with that. So, but you can still find inventory in the 500 realm. And if you're looking for townhomes or condos, you're going to be in the 400s and so forth. Now, if you push further out, you can still find homes in the 400 range, but you're not going to be usually in the Portland metro. You're going to be pushing out to further out cities. And for some people, that's totally okay, as long as they don't have to commute too far to a particular area. We've actually been selling properties further and further out for our people that are on a budget and that they're not sensitive to being in a particular location. So, but we're still considered relatively inexpensive. You can still be here and live comfortably, in the Portland metro area if you're planning on buying a house. Now, again, it's relative to everybody, and I have to be cautious about talking about affordable housing because affordable housing is, very case by case, depending on, what your means are. But in general, we find if people can get, 500, 600 on up, you can get a nice house for the money. If you currently live in Portland, would you comment below? Why do you live here specifically? What are the top reasons that you live in Portland? We always like to hear from the locals. And if you've lived here before and you're living out of the city, but you want to move back, we see a lot of you guys moving back, especially after COVID. Reach out to us. We're happy to help. And of course, put your thoughts below why you loved living in the Pacific Northwest, like the Portland metro area. And we're here. We're putting out content. So be a part of our community. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we appreciate you guys. And we will see you on the next video.